Hi friends, welcome back. So in this video, I'll be discussing about how to become a hero from zero in the software testing field. How you can become an expertise in software testing field from zero. If you follow this 50-step guide, definitely you can move from zero to hero. The first step is you should understanding the core basic. That is, you should have a clear understanding of the fundamentals of software testing, including its what are the purposes which we are testing, what are the objectives and different types of testing that you should understand. That is the first step to become moving from zero to hero. And the second one is you should explore all the testing techniques which are available, including black box testing, white box testing and exploratory testing. And the third step is you should well versed with the software development life cycle, that you should know where you'll be learning about requirement gathering or user stories, designs, development, testing and deployment and maintenance cycle normally which happens in SDLC. The aspect is you will be learning about testing life cycle as well. As you learned earlier with the development life cycle, similarly we have testing life cycle as well, where that inclusive of test planning, test design, test execution and test closure. This is an entire life cycle also you should be well versed with. And the fifth aspect is you should be well versed with getting familiar with Selenium web browser, Selenium tools, JUnit, testingsha, Postman. These are some of the popular tools. You must well versed with it. And the next aspect is you should learn how to write the test cases. That is a key. To become a good software tester, you should be knowing how to write the effective test cases that can catch issues, including test design techniques and the best practices that you should adopt to write the test cases. And the seventh thing you should know is the bug tracking tools you must know. There are various tools available in the market. Even if you learn about 2 to 3 tools such as Jira, Bugzilla, Trello for defect management, that is going to add lot of value in your career. And the eighth aspect is, because these days more development is happening by using agile methodology, you should also well versed with these agile methodologies, agile techniques such as Scrum and Kanban. Also you should understand on how these agile methodologies are fitting into agile development. And the ninth aspect is you should practice manual testing, where you will be picking up the sample application and our websites and keep adopting all the techniques which you have learned in your manual testing concept, so that you can practice that makes you perfect to start a career in software testing. And the 10th aspect is you should study the test documentation. Test documentation here, your test cases, your test scripts and test plans as well as test report. If you go through all the sample test documentation which is available in the internet, that is more than enough, so that you can clearly get a understanding of what are the various artifacts we should develop as part of software testing role. 11th step is you have to deepen the knowledge to become an expertise here. The first aspect here is earlier we try to become a familiar of those tools. Now you should deep dive on the testing concepts as well as tools across various different technologies such as APM, testingsha, Selenium driver. They will be using Selenium will be in web testing, and APM will be used for mobile app testing, and testingsha for reporting purposes. You should be well versed with these tools, and you should become expertise in this area. And next one is here we will be mastering in terms of Selenium WebDriver for web application by using Java or Python or any other supported languages in that matter. And also testng framework is very much required, because these days all the reporting mechanism, test executions, everything will be done using this testng framework. So you should be well versed in these areas. And the next step we should do is, we should also study API testing as well, because API testing gives a lot of advantages in terms of testing, because for doing API testing, our application need not be 100% complete. Even the certain piece of code is implemented, we can adopt the API testing. Hence, these days, more focusing on the API testing in the beginning, then later we will be focusing on the UI testing or end-to-end testing. Hence, you should always remember, you should be well versed with all these Postman or REST assured or API documentation. And 15th aspect is, you should also explore non-functional testing aspects, especially on the performance testing side, where if you learn a certain tool like JMeter or Gatling and various other load testing softwares, where you can apply different types of load scenarios, so that you can find various issues when you try to simulate different issues or scenarios. And the next aspect you should deep dive in terms of your knowledge is continuous integration. Continuous integration concept you must understand, and also you should have a good understanding on how to use Jenkins or GitLab continuous integration for automating building and test, as well as deploying by using this continuous integration technology. And then 17th aspect is, you should be well versed with the version control systems, where you should learn about Git for version control, branching, merging, collaboration on the code repository, you should be well versed with. And 18th is the test management tool. Earlier we were talking about defect management, here we should talk about test management tools. You must be well versed, because where you wanted to track all your test cases, organizing it, executing it by using some of the tools like TestTrail or Zapier. And the next important knowledge you should deepen is security testing. Security testing is very key these days, where you will be more focusing on the penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, and security coding reviews. Practicing test automation. It is not just about learning the tool. We should also practice by taking various test scenarios for your web application, and you have to start automating using APIs, and even you should start automating for mobile applications using various tools and its framework. That is also key, because you are trying to deepening your knowledge in order to become an expertise, or you wanted to become a hero there. And the next aspect is, the building skills is very much required, especially as we deepening your knowledge. Now you should well versed with the framework implementation, especially for test automation. The different types of framework you should be well versed with, like page object model or keyword driven approach, behavioral driven development, BDD. All these framework you should be very well versed with it. One, you should be able to understand the continuous delivery concept as well. Earlier we were focused on continuous integration. Now we should try to understand the continuous delivery concept from automation perspective for deployment of pipeline, ensuring that we should be able to deliver with a reliable software in a quicker manner. And the next aspect is, you should be learning, as we discussed, BDD framework, and you should also explore the mobile testing as well these days, because our application is not just limiting to web application these days. It is also be operating in the mobile apps as well. Hence, we should also focus on our automation frameworks or tools from both web as well as mobile aspects as well, where in mobile aspect we will be working on iOS operating systems or Android operating systems. And the next 26th is, you should also understand the test design pattern as well, where we'll be designing different types of frameworks or patterns, where we can write a flexible code as well as reusability of automation code as part of this pattern. And the next aspect is you should also work on cross-browser testing, because whenever we are trying to test either manual or automation, we should be well versed with cross-browser testing techniques, because we wanted to ensure that what we test in a one browser should also work in a different browser, or we should have a different combinations of browsers. We should test and certify it. That concept also you should be well versed with it to become zero to hero. And next aspect is you should also understand the new thing, which is DevOps stuff, where you should learn about DevOps practices and their collaboration, both automation perspective, continuous integration perspective, continuous delivery perspective, as well as providing feedback back to the development team. That entire operations, we call it as a dev operations. With the new stuff which is coming, which is cloud-based testing, is also happening, where we take out entire information or entire setups in a more on a cloud-based testing, because these days everything sits on the cloud in a different distributed way, and that we have to require to test. And also we should test for scalability as well, whether the application sits on this cloud which really scales or not. Also we should test. Reporting framework also we should be well versed with it, because it is not just about automating the stuff. You should also give enough reporting mechanism as well, so that whoever sees this test reports, they should have a clear idea what is really happening in the software testing field. Next one is you should start gaining experiences. Till now we have practiced it, we have learned it. Now you should start gaining experiences. That will be taking a step of 31, where we have to contribute to open source, where we have a GitHub platform where real world experience applications are available. You can work with them, or you can collaborate with those professionals, so that you can contribute as well in the open source field. And you should also participate in different hackathons, where our testers and coding competitions will happen, where they are trying to solve the real world testing challenges, showcasing your skills. That can also add a lot of value addition for you. You should start developing own testing projects, tools to solve common testing problems that can be reused across different projects, or you can start utilizing in your automation for repetition tasks. That also you should practice, where once you start adopting these personal projects, then definitely you are going to gain bigger experiences. Or you should start joining testing communities as well, because as you start joining different communities, forums, online discussion places, where you can network with different kinds of professionals, where you can start sharing knowledge and stay updated with the industry trends as well. That is very key here, because if you are not taking a traction with different people, definitely you may not be knowing what is really happening in the industry. And the 35th is you start attending conferences and workshops as well, to get more insights as well as expanding your knowledge. And if possible, take the certifications as well in terms of ISTQB, Selenium WebDriver, or Agile Testers, so that these certifications will validate your skills, and that is going to boost up your overall credibility as well. And the next aspect is you should also seek for mentorship from the seniors, experienced tester, or coaches to take the feedback, guidance, or advice your testing journey, which can be within the company or within the organization or within the team, or it could be from different organization or altogether different team also. And you should also explore various advanced topics as well, such as machine learning in software testing, automation for microservices, or AI driven testing as well. With the recent happening is AI or machine learning, that also you should start learning new techniques or new methodologies is also very key for you to become from zero to hero. And the next one is you should keep learning continuously, and you have to keep learning, and you have to keep learning new tools, technologies, best practices, online courses, tutorials, and so on. And as we discussed earlier, these days agile testing is a key, and you should start learning completely the principles and practices in our project, focusing on various collaborations and feedbacks, and delivering value to the customer is also key. We have come to the last stage, which is not just building a skills, we have to master the skills as well, where apart from technical skills, you should also master soft skills. Soft skills is very much required, especially because we are talking to the various stakeholders. The communication is very key in terms of spoken skills, written skills, and where your collaboration is happening. If you do not have these soft skills such as writing, reading, or problem solving skills, critical thinking skills as a professional tester, then it becomes very difficult to become a hero. Hence, try to focus more on these skills as well, which is soft skills. And the next one is start becoming a subject matter expert. You need not be a person with everything you must know. You start going in depth in a particular area, such as healthcare domain, or a finance domain, or e-commerce domain, or gaming domain, and become an expert there. The next one is lead testing initiatives. Take a leadership role in testing teams or projects. Mentor junior testers. Driving testing initiative within your organization. Take initiative, innovation, so that you can bring a lot of value addition for your project or to your company. And the next aspect is exploring testing automation beyond web. These days we are just focusing on web or mobile apps. There are different applications as well, like desktops, IoT devices, blockchain application. You should start exploring your automation for these areas as well, so that these are the future generation application that they are going to implement. If you are well versed with it, then definitely we can grow in your career, nothing like that. And 45th is you should always try to implement all the best practices possible, which is available in the latest stuff in the industry, that is going to add a lot of value addition for you. You should try to optimize the test automation suite. That is very key here, because as the day progresses, number of test cases, test scripts increases, unless if you are not bringing effective optimization, effective management of those test automation suites becomes very difficult. Hence, this is also key in mastering the skills. How to optimize this test automation suites also very key here. And the next aspect is integrating testing into continuous integration, continuous delivery pipeline is the key, and you should learn those master skills from end-to-end perspective. And the 48th is you should always create a quality champion culture, where we are going to promote a culture of quality within your organization by advocating for the best testing practices, continuous improvements, and customer centricity is all. And 49th is share the knowledge, mentor others is a key. When you start sharing the knowledge, then mentoring with others, definitely you will also grow. The last stuff is you should never stop learning. That is a key. Lifelong, you should keep learning. Embrace for lifelong learning. Curiosity, you should have it. Adaptability, you should have it. And stay ahead on every evolving field of software testing. Then definitely you can become zero to hero in a lesser time. If you adopt all these 50 steps, then definitely that is going to help you your career building in software testing.